Hello, my name is Rich Howard, owner of Architectural Builders Supply. This video is to bring you a closer look at the Ultra Hardware number 44850 Jimmy Proof Deadlock. This is a deadbolt. It is a surface-mounted deadbolt, very classic sort of design that has been around for decades by Ultra. This 44850 specifically is a double cylinder unit, meaning that there's a cylinder on the inside. There's a rim cylinder for the outside. Okay, so you can lock or unlock it from either side of the door. This unit also features the angle strike, the flat strike, and then the associated items that you would need. Obviously, keys for your cylinder. This is in a Y1 keyway, also known as a Yale keyway, and a look-alike sort of Yale bow on the key. You'll get a cylinder ring for underneath the head of the cylinder. You're obviously going to get a package of screws. We'll go over a little bit more about that in a moment. And then you'll get the retaining ring that will hold the cylinder, the rim cylinder on from the inside. It'll look like that. There is a link below this video to both the installation instructions, or the instructions, and the template. The template, the paperwork from Ultra is Spartan, but the truth of the matter is there's really not a lot involved in installing these. Before we go further, they call this a brass key, finish. You can see the face of the cylinder is a polished brass, where that body is more of a bronze color. This will accommodate doors from 1¼ to 2¼ inch thick, so it's very capable in that regard. Double cylinder again features cylinders on both inside and outside for extra protection if you've got glass in the door or in the side lights. And again, comes with the this unit specifically comes with the angle strike. However, the one that I've actually got here in my hand includes that flat strike as well. The description specifically says angle strike, and the original factory image shows an angle strike only, so I'm tempted to say that that would be all that would be. What I'm trying to say is it might have been an error that they included the flat strike. Now, looking at the installation instructions, first of all, it says do not unscrew small retaining screws at rear of cylinder. We're referring to these two screws. Which, why they're saying that, I'm not exactly sure. You will certainly have to remove them to get the cylinder installed. Anyway, moving on to step 1, instructions. Apply proper template to the inside of door and follow instructions given on the template. So they're assuming, based on the template, that your door is an in-swing. The template is full size. So you would use it in this orientation for a right-hand door, and obviously for a left-hand door you'd turn it over. And why that's important is because you can see these two holes here. There's one here and there's one here. And they're different because the center line of where the hole is drilled for your 1¼ cylinder is not in the center of the lock, and that's because the tailpiece, or what they call the connecting bar, is not in the center of the rim cylinder. Anyway, you would apply that. I would generally tape it to the edge of the door, and it's referred to as, right here, door edge. Okay, so you're going to flush that right off to the door edge. I might put some tape on it. And then at that point, I would take a hammer and a center punch, and I would mark all the holes that I know that I need to drill. And that's certainly going to be for the cylinder, which will either be at this point here, or, sorry, it's hard to see it backwards. Yeah, they're here. Which is going to be at this point here, which is the intersection. There's a dashed line right on that crease. Inch right here, drill 1¼ hole for left-hand door, or if you flipped it over, then you would be drilling the other hole for a right-hand door. right here. Drill it, 1.25" hole for right-hand door. So you're going to need a total of 5 holes that you'll mark. One will be for your cylinder, and then the 4 for the screw holes. And that's how I go about doing it. Like I said, the installations are Spartan because they can be somewhat Spartan. So you'll get your holes marked, 5 holes. After you do a reality check on all the holes, make sure everything looks correct, you've drilled that 1.25" hole through the door. Okay. Then they're saying insert cylinder and ring from the outside of the door and place back plate on inside of the door, connecting back plate with cylinder by 2 connecting screws. Cut off screws to proper length relative to the door thickness. So what they're saying is you'll have to remove these screws. You're going to have to cut them down, what they call connecting bar and the 2 screws, to accommodate your door thickness, because this will go all the way out to 1 inch and 2.25 inch thick door. Yes. Per the diagram, the connecting bar is to be projecting 5/8 of an inch beyond the face of the door on the inside. So you can, well, put your cylinder ring on first. Then you can mark that off where the 5/8 comes, and you'll want to cut that very carefully. You don't want to bend it. Then you'll come with the 2 screws. You want to remove those and put them through these 2 holes. Now, these 2 flathead countersunk holes, they're for the 2 silver screws that are in the screw package, so you can hold your plate onto the face of the door. At that point, you've got the cylinder in. You'll have your 2 keys. I say put them right into the lock so you can't lose them and turn them. We've already jumped past step 3. Step 4, place lock on door so that connecting bar enters the slot using punched holes as guide, screw lock to door. So you've punched your holes. You want to pre-drill them. That would be the real long screws that are in the package. You can get to the slot by depressing this tab in the end. And there's that slot there. You're going to want to get that installed inside of there so that it looks like that. And you're going to want to make sure that you have proper operation, meaning that you can lock the deadbolt and remove the key, and that you can unlock the deadbolt and also remove the key. If you find that that is not possible, like you can get it to a point you can't turn it any further, but then you turn it back all the other way, and you can throw it, but then you can't remove the key without unlocking it again, you've got it timed improperly, which is very common. Just take your tailpiece and rotate it either 90 or 180 degrees. 90 generally is what you'd need to get that issue resolved. Step 5, apply strike to door jamb lower than the center line of the lock to allow for any sag in the door. And then step 6, mortise long lip into door jamb and leave short lip on surface. So what they're saying is your installation will look like this. Long lip on the door jamb, short lip on the surface. And again, you're just going to do a reality check. Now you're going to notice that this and this, these holes for the strike, they're not in the center of the strike either. Neither are those slots. They're closer to the top. You just want to make sure that that is timed correctly based on whatever hand of door that you're doing. Like I said, it's kind of an eyeball situation where you'll get it eyeballed. The majority of work really in time is, I've installed these, is mortising the wood frame for this. I've installed these also on steel doors where I would use just the flat strike because there's no mortising, and that's pretty easy. You just kind of eyeball that there. It works out really well. However, if you've got an outswing door and you're using a flat strike, you can't use this template. You're going to have to make sure that this dimension is first and foremost so that you've got proper operation. Then you'll have to determine is what's your back set for the 2.25 inch hole and then drill accordingly. That's just a condition of these instructions. Ultra is obviously assuming that it's residential in nature and that the door swings in, which, let's face it, is the overwhelming majority of the time. So they instruct and template for that sort of situation. Now, this is a very inexpensive lock. However, for the price, I certainly wouldn't hesitate to use it. whatsoever. Okay. There we go. Okay. And before you get everything attached, you want to make sure the operation is correct on both sides so that you can lock and unlock and remove the key in both situations. You don't want to find out the hard way when you're all done that it's that you've got it timed incorrectly. Ultra Hardware is a full-line manufacturer, a full-line importer of many things builder hardware related, not only surface-mounted deadbolts, but door stops, lock sets, door closers, a variety of cabinet hardware, and their most popular item, the Ultra 36030, the surface-mounted door holder, which is probably the most popular or commonly sold Ultra item. If you have any questions on the Ultra Hardware 44850 Jimmy-proof deadlock, its installation, anything of that nature, you can also rekey these cylinders if you would want to. They take a Y1 or a Yale keyway. You could certainly get inside of there and remove that cylinder and have it rekeyed. I've done that before. But keep in mind this is a Yale Y1 keyway. May not be what you need to be compatible. If you've got an existing lock set of a different keyway, there's no way to change these cylinders, or at least on the inside, to be compatible with what you're working with. You might want to change the other lock to accept a Y1 keyway. But anyway, if you have any questions on this or any sort of derivative concept of this Jimmy-proof lock, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.